Trina and Towanda should just have their own show because that's what this was given anyways. Just give Trina and Towanda their own show because that's what the Braxtons is, right? To me at least. What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Tammy. This is Tammy Talks. We are here to talk The Braxtons, Season 1, Episode 7, Lights, Camera, Braxton. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, thumbs up the video, leave your comments down below. Let's talk about this episode. It was lighter, okay? It was lighter. We didn't have a lot of tears. It wasn't heavy. It wasn't a lot of angst, okay? We had just an episode. Awesome. So the episode starts off with Trina and Towanda getting Manny and Petty's with Miss E. So Miss E comes in. She's talking about her date. She said he had on all purple. She don't want to date no man that's going to wear all purple. I think he was a Q. I think he was an Omega because when they were showing his outfit or whatever, when you looked at his wrist, he had a purple and yellow like rubber band on and they blurred it out. So it gave me Omega tees, because what other grown man is going to wear all that purple? Miss E says she's not with that. Towanda said that purple is her favorite color, and she would not mind if a man wore all purple. Sean gives that you give him another 5 years, he's going to be dressed like that anyway, so I believe you, Towanda. So they're talking about this, and Miss E said, well, it's cool. I didn't get his number. I didn't give him my number. She says in a confessional, she does not like when her daughters set her up because they don't get it right. You keep asking your daughters to set you up, though. I don't think Miss E wants to date, to be honest, y'all. I don't think she wants to date. She doesn't want to get remarried. This is something that she's doing to have a storyline, so she has a purpose on this show. That's really what it is. But they merge into talking about going to LA. So they're going to head to LA for the photo shoot and for the marketing pictures and all that stuff that they need to do for the show. And then they get to see Toni rehearse for her residency, which is going to be in Vegas with Ced the Entertainer. Trina keeps saying how, she doesn't like her hair, needs to get her hair done. They were like, take it down and then just get it redone. But she's like, no, it's so expensive. And I was with her mama. You got the money to get your hair done, Trina, or don't you? Or don't you? Then the mama was like, well, Towanda got a bunch of hair at her house. She ain't got no hair. She ain't using it. Trina then starts talking about how she wants to lose weight before the photo shoot. Ma'am, you are leaving tomorrow. Not gonna happen. Now they can do the Photoshop edit, but you want it to look believable. So that's what they talked about. We pan over to Toni. Toni is at rehearsal with Cedric the Entertainer. So we find out that their kids dated. So I'm assuming either Denham or Diesel dated one of Ced the Entertainer's daughters, and even though they did not work out, the kids, they are just, better friends for it. Toni reminds us she has lupus, as if we did not know, but Toni reminds us that she has lupus and Ced's mother has lupus, so he kind of understands what her body goes through, so that's why she's more comfortable with doing this show with him, because he's going to understand, like, her ups and downs, I guess. So Toni's practicing, and her sisters are there, and Toni is like, look, I'm going to, she tells this joke. So there's a bunch of groceries, and they're out. Miss Carrot is there, and the broccoli is there, right? And then the mushroom comes up, right? And then the mushroom, he comes strolling in, and he walks over to Miss Carrot, right? Okay, so walks over to Miss Carrot, tries to rap to Miss Carrot, and Miss Carrot was like, no, not my type of vegetable, not my type of dude. But then the mushroom is like, why? I'm a fun guy. Boo, tomato. Now look, I like corny jokes like that. I would think it's funny. I did laugh when she said fun guy. However, for your residency in Vegas, that's not what the audience is coming to see. Let's tell the jokes. You can sing and dance, and then we can all move on with life. Toni, do not do this to yourself. But her sisters are laughing at her, and they're like, we don't know why Toni wants to be a comedian all of a sudden. But let Toni tell it, she could be one of the original queens of comedy. And I said, whoop. No, you can't, because we have already had the original queens of comedy. It was who? Monique, Samore, Miss Laura. Was it Adele Givens? But we've already had, or was it Cheryl Underwood? Nonetheless, we've already had the original Queens of Comedy, so Toni, you can't. You just can't do it. We pan back over to Towanda, Trina, and Miss E. They are meeting for dinner. Towanda said that they did not invite Toni because they know Toni's probably tired from rehearsal, whatever the case. So they're sitting out there, and what kind of worked my nerves this episode is every single scene it's, oh my god, Tracy would have loved this, oh my god, Tracy. It's forced, y'all. It's forced. It's also weird that y'all other sister Tamar isn't there either, but everything is Tracy, Tracy, Tracy. And I know that y'all are trying to push this narrative that the show came back for Tracy. This is what Tracy wanted. Sure. Awesome. However, it's coming across forced, y'all. It's coming across very forced. On top of that, there was no mention of Scratchy this episode. Y'all said he done got divorced, his life done fell apart, all this stuff. We got what we need for the first couple episodes. Now let's talk about us. Oh my god. It's weird to me that every time they're together, oh my god, it feels like Tracy's right here. Oh my god, Tracy. Oh my god, Tracy. Y'all weren't doing that when Tracy was alive and she wasn't in every scene and at every dinner. Nonetheless, so they are at this dinner, and Trina once again mentions that she needs to be on the Photoshop diet. And I'm like, Trina, look, I don't know if Trina is doing one of those where I'm going to point it out before the audience can, but like, stop talking about your weight every single episode, Trina. So Trina and Towanda are like, oh, we want to take some pictures. So they're going over and they're taking pictures with like LA in the background. And all of a sudden, a hummingbird appears, and they're like, oh, Tracy's with us. Tracy, Tracy, Tracy. It was a cute moment. It was nice. Miss E is saying how the hummingbird was just kind of hovering around us. And then they were like, this is Tracy's way of being like, what y'all doing? I'm good. I'm chilling. I'm okay. So, there. We then get to the photo shoot. So they are working with Derek Blanks, who is an amazing photographer. So Towanda is happy that she don't have to wear a wig because she feels that she can now be an inspiration for people that have alopecia. I think that is important as well, to see a Black woman embrace this condition that she has, be very forthcoming with it and open to talking about it. I think they even mentioned this episode that Towanda is going to be going on a radio show to talk more about alopecia. I know September is Alopecia Areata Awareness Month, so the timing just matched up perfectly for them. So kudos to Towanda. So Tamar is not there because Tamar, they're doing the photo shoot in LA. Tamar had other work obligations in Atlanta. It's weird how nobody mentioned that outside of Toni. Now, I know that Tamar got on Twitter last night and said that, she doesn't like the narrative that was spun, that she just didn't want to be there, when in reality, she had work obligations in Atlanta and it just didn't fit her schedule to be flying across the country for this photo shoot to fly back. We even see at Tamar's photo shoot, when she's done, she's like, okay, I have to get to a meeting. So who knows? But Tamar is over in Atlanta doing hers, and she's saying she just doesn't feel connected. She feels connected to her family, which I don't believe she does, but she says she feels connected to her family, but she does not feel connected to the show. Now, we know Tamar has been very vocal this entire season about her only doing it for Tracy and only doing it for her mother. She did not want to do the show. I do not think Tamar needs to be on reality TV because it's obviously just not good for her mental health. It's just not. It's just not. So she does she's getting ready to do this shoot. She has waist beads, and she's like, they're not just for losing weight like some people think that they are. Hers were blessed, and they are for manifestation. So 2 of them she has for prosperity, She said because she's greedy, and one of them is like a calling for love and family in her life, and that was the one that she got after Tracy got sick. After she found out Tracy was sick, so she cuts them off, and she says she feels that it's just time to move forward from them. She feels that they have done their desired purpose. Back over in LA at their photo shoot, which now do we know if this is the same day? We don't. We do not know, but back over in LA, we see that Sean has shown up to the photo shoot to surprise Towanda. I think Towanda knew that Sean was coming. I think this was a way for Towanda and Sean to film together without having to film in her house. That's what I think. So Sean shows up to surprise Towanda, and she lights up. She's excited. He's talking about how good she looks, whatever the case. Awesome. We then see, in their confessionals, Toni at least was saying how it feels different not having Tracy there, not having Tamar there, because Tamar and Tracy were the ones that kept up the laughs and the entertainment and, the silliness and the goofiness and made the photo shoot more fun. So for Toni, it's heavy not having two of her sisters there. Towanda and Trina don't seem to care either way. They just happy to take a picture. Okay, so we then see Towanda, Trina, and Toni go to dinner later that night. Complete awkward. It's awkward. It's awkward. You can tell Toni don't be with them like that. You can tell that they don't necessarily know how to be around each other. You can tell that they are only together because they are filming a reality show. But it gave very awkward energy. You can tell that Towanda and Trina are together a lot. They're in each other's lives a lot, but when Trina said that the sisters were all estranged, you can tell that Toni don't be with them. It was so awkward. Oh my God. So Toni's ordering, and you can tell that they don't like what each other likes, and it was so cringe to me. It was so cringe to me. So Towanda asked Toni, will she ever get married again? And Toni's like, ooh, I don't know. I think I might have missed my window for that. And Trina's like, no, you can never miss your window. And Toni is like, well, I mean, Elizabeth Taylor over here, because y'all know if Trina gonna do anything, she's gonna get married. So Trina is on her third husband, I think. Yes. And Toni is like, I just don't, I don't know if I see it for me. It may not be in the cards for me. So she then asks Towanda, do you see yourself getting married? Towanda has been with Sean for 9 years, and she does not know if wedding bells are in the cards, but she's happy with where they are and she's at peace. This is contradictory to what Towanda said a couple episodes ago about how she would want to be married to Sean, but she's not going to be the one to ask him. She doesn't want to pressure him. Towanda does want to marry this man. She does, but it's like she doesn't want to put the bug in his ear. I don't know. Being with somebody for 9 years and acting as if y'all are married and living as husband and wife in probably all aspects of it, why should he propose? Why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? Like, why, what incentive does he have to propose? So Toni asked Towanda, do you see Sean as Aiden or Mr. Big? And Towanda says Aiden, and Toni agrees. And I'm like, what series did y'all watch? Because if we're talking about Sex in the City like I think y'all are, Sean is definitely giving Mr. Big. He's going to end up marrying her because she has finally wore him down. He's going to end up marrying her because she stayed out of desperation to just be with somebody. Yes, Carrie should have ended up with Aiden. Are y'all watching and just like that? Like, oh my God. But they think that he is Aiden. He's clearly Mr. Big, but whatever. So the next scene, coincidentally, is Towanda and Sean out on a date. They're talking about her alopecia. She is saying how the first season of Braxton Family Values, she would wear her hair in the pigtails all the time because she was able to cover up her bald spots. So I guess when she was a child, when a little girl in the school said, "You bald, you ain't got no hair," because her hair was so thin. And even though Towanda knew that to be true, it still stung in a way. So now that as an adult, I don't know how old she is, 47, 48, she is now able to like step into an era of being more comfortable with the way that she looks now because she does not have hair. So Sean very weirdly was like, remember, when we were at the Four Seasons and I told you take your wig off, and I was the first one to see you like with your hair like that, and I told you it was cool. And she's like, yeah, you were so supportive. That entire portion of the conversation was weird because it felt like give me some kudos right now. I told you, I was one of the first niggas that told you that it's cool. It was weird. It didn't seem sincere. The conversation didn't give from his standpoint what I thought it should have. It didn't give an air of I support you, I don't care how you look. It was I knew you ain't had no hair and I was cool with it. So, praise me, love me. We bond together. I'm cool with it. That's the vibe that it gave, and that's unfortunate. To me at least, that's unfortunate. So we then get a final scene with Toni, and Toni is getting ready to go on the Jennifer Hudson show with said the entertainer, and she's saying how this was a very emotional week. It was Tracy's birthday this week. Like, did they film this entire series in like 2 weeks? I feel like it has been Tracy's birthday week the entire damn season. But they're saying that this was Tracy's birthday week, and Toni just feels just emotionally spent. The photo shoot was weird because not only was Tracy not there, but Tamar wasn't there either. So it was a lot for her. And I'm like, I get it. Cool. So she goes on, she talks to Jennifer Hudson on the show. She gets a little bit of emotional, just saying how her grief for Tracy comes in waves. And this is just a wave that is coming through. When she gets upset, she talks to her manager and she's like, I know it was unprofessional. He's like, no, it's real. It's authentic. This is real life. You are grieving your sister. Nobody expects you to be able to talk about your sister and not have feelings. Nobody. So that was really the episode. Wasn't a whole lot going on. I know a lot of people feel like the show should be canceled. Don't bring it back. I don't think that. I don't agree. I think if they pivot the show to where it is not so let's use Tracy as our storyline, we can still celebrate our sister while still talking about our real life and what's going on with our life. The show would progress a little more smoothly. It's always going to feel weird because it's not the five sisters, right? But I think the fact that Towanda's not talking about her life, Trina is giving very, very little about her life, but they're the forefront of the season, is weird. That's the weird part. Make Towanda talk about what's going on in her life. Let's see your kids. Show Brooke and Braxton. Let's see more about them. Trina, let's talk more about your married life. Let's talk more about what you have going on. Y'all cannot rely on Toni and Tamar and what they have going on to carry the show. And you sure in hell can't rely solely on Tracy. Why? Because little Kevin don't live in Atlanta or LA with y'all. But let me know what you guys thought about this episode. It was cool for what it was. Subscribe to the channel, thumbs up the video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.